Hello, Women in Aviation International. My name is Katie Marcucci, author of the children's book entitled Air Force Ace, and I'm so pleased to be a part of your 2021 March conference. I'm going to share with you an excerpt from my book, which aims to demystify the questions surrounding deployments, especially from the eyes of children. It is a book that I wrote as a labor of love and was kind of born out of necessity for my own kids who were growing, experiencing more deployments as part of an active duty Air Force family. And with their growth and those deployments came a lot of heavy questions that needed some real answers. So in this story, told from the viewpoint of our family dog, who has smuggled himself aboard his dad's deployment-bound aircraft, we find ourselves now in the barracks, as you can see, and the dog has found his way onto his dad's barracks bed. Ace found himself in a room with row after row of beds. They weren't fancy, but they sure looked inviting. As he wandered the room, he saw many photos of happy families next to each bedside, laughing children hugging smiling parents, mommies and daddies holding babies, and lots of happy dogs next to their favorite airmen. One bed looked and smelled particularly inviting. Ace could not help but curl up on its pillow. He was very talented at sleeping and was snoring away in the blink of an eye. Ace had no idea how long he'd been asleep, but his eyes opened immediately at the sweet sound of a most familiar voice. "Ace, how can it be you're lying here on my bed?" he heard Daddy exclaim. Ace didn't answer the question, but rather gave Daddy hundreds of kisses. How happy he was to see his dad. Daddy, in turn, looked a little concerned. "Ace, I'm so glad to see you," he said, stroking his fur. "I love you so much, and whenever I'm away, you can't imagine how much I miss you and our family. But a deployment is not where you should be." Ace looked a little hurt. Daddy continued to explain, "Deployments are very busy with lots of helping to do. Sometimes that means we work long hours, use heavy equipment made for grown-ups only, or even travel to distant places for a few days. We wouldn't have anywhere to play together, and you would be very bored waiting for me. Here, let me show you." Ace stayed right by Daddy's side as they exited the barracks, returning to the hot dirt and bright sun. The whirring sounds of the airplane engines grew louder as Ace and Daddy walked closer to the flight line. Daddy pointed out, "Over there is my aircraft, Ace, the mighty MC-130J. Ace instantly recognized its four propellers. The back of the aircraft was open and small vehicles with large crates were zipping in and out. "My friends are working hard to load food and water so we can share it with those in nearby villages who are thirsty and hungry," explained Daddy. Pointing again, he continued, "Over there is a CV-22 ready to deliver books and school supplies for local children. And in the distance, a C-17 is coming in for landing with more helpers on board, ready to get these and other jobs done." Ace could see it was busy, hard, important work. He was sure proud of Daddy and the good he was doing on deployment. Daddy knelt down next to Ace and whispered, "Thank you for loving me, Ace, as I love you. At the same time, I need you to go home to Mommy and little brother and baby sister. You can tell them I am safe and happy and healthy because you have seen and smelled it yourself." Ace's tail wagged away. He was sad to leave Daddy, but glad to share this new information with his family. And indeed, Ace does eventually make it home and into the arms of his family, with all the answers to the questions he and his siblings had. To date, we have made available over 432 books, made available to Air Force, all families of all the branches, made available to them for free at no cost, which has been such a blessing. And I'm so glad that my children's questions, which I wrote this story to answer, were able to be passed on to other children, other active duty military families as well. If you would like to learn more about Air Force Ace, how the book came into being, and the actual Air Force Ace, our dog, our family dog, who was the main character in the story, please follow us on Instagram at Air Force Ace Book. Also, we have a Facebook page, Air Force Ace, a children's book. And in addition, www.airforceacebook.squarespace.com to order the book or purchase the book for your family. It can be purchased on Amazon, and it can also be purchased on mascotbooks.com, our publisher. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.